Second sight. Lost and unable to be lost, we turn again. Like angry children looking for their innocence, address the air with boisterous inconsequence, brawling among ourselves while the picnic ends in rain. Words in an agony of waste explain but words. The lies persist. Their cadence is Shakespearean. Their function is the celebration of pretense. Far as the madcap actress from pieties of sense, we make a life of lucklessness who live but once, and with a signature of pain sign for the century of stone. Our questions dawdle in office. Our famous answers boast the world's a truculent atom in the slow evolving brain, and somewhere both are lost. We lose by too much praise, for when the laureled child of honor and impeccable ambition finds enchantingly dangerous routes to his most simple ends, all but the vanities of finesse must leave him cold. All but the haunted houses fall. All but left-handed gestures fail. Reflective when he should but yield, his tarnished eye mistrusts the marriage of true minds. Complex and restless when his stricken age demands the simple operations of accomplished hands, he protests that he is wild, self-willed, the natural heir, the tongue of gold, and wins the world's exemption with his crooked smile. Silent, moving through self-distorting mirrors, he grows old who might speak for us all. Waste in the images of waste, the exile, the slum, the dog in the limousine, the jukebox coin of sex proliferate and cling. When the honored inventor takes infinite pains to prove hypotheses of doom, and the student architect designs a chalet for the refugee prince, the appalling ash of wasted time falls like the weight of all philosophy on wrecks of cheated enterprise. The man with questions looks askance until, moved by irrational pity, he shuts his books and like a grim draftee leaves home. Pursued by sleep and martyrdom, the man of loving action, shouldering his paradox, signs for the rusted valley where his voluntary hands may claim in time their salvaged province. Though some go westward expensively drunk in luxury trains, and some embark in camouflage for censored places, we move in one direction. We contemplate one crisis. Word over all, the frameless purpose intervenes, yet cannot stay the shell in air, correct the will, nor stop the war. The principle of waste remains, stealing the stature from our self-forgiven faces. As the soldier poet, in a metamorphosis of militating sense, falls to an emphasis on inner order and attains a vision of exile for his pains, we learn how love's a private courage none may share, the sacrifice of nothing, the freely given gift that means death on a coral shore. Between our license and our published morality, centaurs and helicopters associate with ease. Between our reaction and our understanding lies the coming continent, the long locality of artless action without fault, infant conscience without guilt. Because we sense that polity, our flaming deaths and documents are far more wise than we assume. The dignity of elegies defines a premonition more valuable than praise. But once to hear the melody of life in its plurality is to know the dialectic of the difficult. With the making faith we have, we look toward its reality, for truth is a result. Love in particular. When the orchard that clings to the terrace is boxed for the winter, and birds take the sun deck, and the first hieroglyph of snow sprawls on the darkening side street under crawling cars, there is much to be reconsidered about the nature of this place. Because of all doomed capitals, certainly none was less love's climate, or to its light more false. In the encroaching blue of its twilight, the exciting approach of still another enormous evening, how many desolate figures watch the first lights of Radio City burn for a little while, as those who in great harbors, framed in 1,000 portholes, attend the huge maneuverings of liners and the infinitesimal farewells. Each to his own fake fireplace, each to his hobby of glass elephants that trumpet in duplicate herds across 20 square inches of tabletop mirror, while the modest leaf of love fumes like a steaming orchid in the center of the room, costly, rootless, and naked, and disappears like flame. Ah, the swift matings and undernourished affections, the pledge of troth as tidy as a business deal of unexpected advancement with a comfortable equity. In their profitless commerce at midnight, pulverous shadows strive to gain their random image, while bartenders give them nerve and the bankers give homage. To admit that this is not an accident but an achievement is but to marry St. Patrick's to the Onyx Club, with dancing afterward and mingling of the guests. For in the sacrifice of appetite, the angel of love hangs in the sky like a corpse of warning. Many murders are in his eye every blessed morning. The lights and lives that stratify these avenues shine at the frayed nerve ends of a prodigious hunger, not to be answered by a million appetites for love without identity, or burned to exhaustion in a night of gaiety and anger. For the anarchies of appetite are not the feasts of hunger. Leave it then to an impromptu drift of snow, some falling, final graciousness of snow that brings its trophies and mistakes to burial. If to begin again means other faces, other ambition, long as time, and as full of notions, let the day perish, let the day come. Views of the favorite colleges. Approaching by the gate, class of '79, all dead, the unimpressed new scholars find halls of archaic brick, and, if it is April, 3 dazzling magnolias behind bars like lions. Unsettling winds among the pillars of wisdom assure them of harmonious extremes, however academic. The bells, in key, covered with singing birds, ring on the hour. Towering, but without aspiration, the campanile is known to sway an inch in a high wind. But that, like the statue's changeable complexion, is natural. To find the unnatural, gradually absorb the industry of 10 o'clock. The embryo pig slit through with the proper instruments by embryos, and Sophocles cut, for speed, with a blue pencil. Prehensile sophomores in the tree of learning stare at the exiled blossoming trees, vaguely puzzled. The lecturer, especially if bearded, enhances those druidical undertones. What is the terminus of books, sing the birds. Tell us about Sophocles, cry the trees. And a crazy child on roller skates skates through the campus like a one-man thunderstorm.